Hey guys, welcome back to my channel AG Motion Designs, and in today's video we are going to create this text animation inside of After Effects with the help of our favorite plugin Trapcode particular. So if you are new to this channel, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and I'll call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30 seconds, and duration is also 30 seconds long, and background color is let's choose red color and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and we will hit on title selection. Now we will first do one thing. We will type our text. Let's select our text, and for the font you can choose any font you want. I'm going to choose, let's say, Poppins like this, and let's choose extra bold version and make sure to all of them should be caps. So let's select this, let's delete this and type another, type motion. Let's select this text, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Now press S for scaling option and scale it somewhere around like this. So this is going to be my main title like this. Now I want this is going to be my reference layer, so I'll select this layer and I'll hit Ctrl D. I'll select this second layer, and for the color I'm going to choose black color for this, because this is going to be my reference layer. So if I see, we have this text layer in black color, so I'm going to lock this. Now select this text, select your text tool and let's delete all of them. We don't want that. Select this M, press Ctrl Alt Home, press V, and let's try to match the position with our black text layer like this. Now select this, hit Ctrl D, hit Ctrl T, and let's make this O. Select this and try to adjust it with this O. Again hit Ctrl D, move this over here and let's make this T. Select this and let's move this over here like this. Select this, hit Ctrl D, let's type I. Let's try to adjust the position. Okay, select this, hit Ctrl D, let's type O. Let's try to adjust the position. Hit Ctrl D, let's move this over here and let's type N, and let's try to adjust the position. Okay, so now we have this individual text for our animation. So I'll select all of them, I'll press Ctrl Shift C and I'll call it as text and hit OK, and we will hide this for now, and we will delete this text layer also, we don't need that. Now I'm going to select my ellipse, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse over here. Now select this, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically like this. Let's go to the ellipse path and let's increase the size of it somewhere around like this. Okay, I think 90 should be good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this ellipse and I'll hit Ctrl D. So now we have this ellipse 2. Now go inside this ellipse path and let's make this size 0. As you guys can see, the size of this ellipse is 0, and I'll go to the fill and instead of white color I'm going to choose red color. Okay, so now we will get this kind of, this is one shape layer, and in this shape layer we have this two ellipse, one with the red one and one with the white one. Okay, now we will select the shape layer, press F4 and make sure to convert this layer into 3D like this. Okay, so after doing all of that, right click new and we will create one light, and make sure to choose point light instead of all these three, and name this light emitter. Make sure to type spelling properly, so let's EMITTER and hit OK. So this is going to be my emitter. Now press P for position, select this position, right click and choose separate dimension like this. Okay, this align is not gonna work on 3D object, so we need to adjust it manually. So let's try to adjust the position of this one over here and this one over here, like this. Okay, and as you guys know that our shape layer is also 3D. So now instead of active camera, let's go to the left view and still make sure to check out whether this is properly at the center or not. And this light is over here, but we don't want that here, it should be over here. So I'll select this light and I'll try to move this over here along with this object. So now if I go to the active camera view, as you guys can see, we cannot see our object because we have this emitter light over here, like this. Now what I'm going to do, this is my shape layer, I'll hit enter and let's call it as ball. And now because this is 3D layer and this emitter is also, I mean this point light is also 3D, we can select this emitter and we can make it a parent with this ball. Or instead of that, what you can do, you can select this ball and make it a parent with this emitter. You can do both way. So let's delete this parent and we will make this ball parent with emitter. Okay, and you can hide this emitter because we need to see this object properly. Now we need to create bouncing ball animation for this emitter. So let's select this and press P for position. And because this ball is a parent with this emitter, so you will get that reference point also. So now initially let's bring this Y position somewhere around over here, and let's create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y, and let's move this, sorry, at this point it should be over here. And let's go to around, let's say 2 seconds, and we will create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Now let's go to the start and let's change the Y position over here at this point, like this. Okay, now let's go to around 20 frames, create one keyframe at Y position, go to around 1.10 frames, again create one keyframe at Y position. Now we will get something like this. Yeah, or instead of that, let's delete this keyframes. We will first move this thing over here. Let's go to around 20 frame, and at this point I'm going to bring this downwards. Or you can simply select this keyframe, hit Ctrl C Ctrl V, like this. So we'll get something like this. Then somewhere around at this point, let's say uh, somewhere around over here, I'll create another keyframe at Y, and in middle of that I'll move this over here. Then at this point I'll move this over here. So if I see this animation now, I'll get something like this. Okay, and now let's select all of these keyframes except this, and by holding Alt I'm going to move this over here. So I'll get this kind of stuff. Now let's select those keyframe and hit F9. Let's go to the graph editor. So we will get something like this, but I don't want this thing should be like this. So select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here. Select this, move this handle over here and this handle over here, sorry, select this, move this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here. So we'll get this kind of bounciness. Then select this, move this handle over here and this handle over here. This one should be over here, select this and this one should be over here, like this. And at this point let's do one thing, we will bring this a little bit up, like this. And at this, after that, let's go few frames forward, we'll create another keyframe, and in middle of that let's bring this upward. Select those keyframe, again go to the graph editor, select this graph, hit F9, move this handle over here, this handle over here, this handle over here and this handle over here, like this. So if I see this animation, I'll get this kind of stuff. Okay, this looks good to me. Now after all of this, we need to add our particles. So I'll press Ctrl Y and I'll call it as particles. Let's choose white color. And now let's go to the effect and presets panel and search for Trapcode particular and simply double click to apply. So after that you will get this kind of emissions from the center bit. We don't want that, obviously. I want this particle should start to emit with this emitter, which is our light, like this. So now let's select this emitter, I mean these particles. Go to the emitter options and emitter type, instead of point I'm going to choose lights. So now what will happen, they will start to produce the points from this light. And as you guys can see, this looks quite weird. So what I'm going to do, emitter size right now it's 500, so let's make this 0. So now if you hit play, you will get something like this. Okay, this looks almost good to me. So let's do one thing, velocity I'm going to choose 50 only. Okay, and let's go to the particles now, and over here size random, let's make this 100. And let's see, now we will get something like this. Okay, and let's choose size up to 7, and let's see. And we are also going to decrease, or let's say feathers, let's say 40 only. We don't want much more feathers. And over here we will get this option known as size overlap, so simply go over there, and in presets I'm going to select this presets like this. And now we will go to the emitter option again, and particles I want 1000. I think this is too much, so let's try to make it 300, let's say. Okay, and in direction let's try to, instead of uniform, let's try to directional, and let's play. You will get something like this, or let's say bidirectional, and let's see what will happen. Okay, and now I want gravity in this scene, so for that let's minimize all of them, and we will go to the physics, and gravity let's choose 90, and let's see what will happen. As you guys can see, they are falling down, so let's make this 150, let's say, and let's see what will happen. Yeah, now after that we will obviously need bouncy effect over here. So physics mode, right now it's air, choose bounce. And now we need to create one flow over here, so press Ctrl Y, and let's call it as wall, and hit OK. Convert this layer into 3D, press R for rotation, and let's rotate it on X. Let's make this -90, and let's bring this somewhere around over here, and let's hide this layer. Now select this, go to the bounce, floor name, let's choose this wall, and wall layer also choose this wall. So now we will get that bounciness, but as you guys can see, this is quite not appropriate. So select this wall or press P, and let's move this on Y axis somewhere around over here. Okay, so now if I hit play, I'll get something like this, but this is not like we want. Now let's go at this point. I don't want any particles at this point, so let's select this. We'll go to the emitter, let's create one keyframe at particle per second. Hit U, hit page down button one time, and let's make this particle per second 0. So now if you hit play, we'll get something like this. Okay, and let's select this shape layer and bring this at the top. So now all the particles are going to be behind this thing. Okay, now let's select this ball and press P for position. I'll create one keyframe over here, then go few frame forward, create another keyframe, and in middle of that I'll bring the Y position over here, Select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here, this handle over here, this handle over here, and this handle over here. You'll get this kind of bounces. Now at this point I want particle explosion again, so I'll press Ctrl Y and I'll call it as particles 2, and I'll move this layer over here. Select this and hit U. Make sure you are at this point. Select this particle layer and apply particular effect again. I want particle explosion from this point, so let's go to the emitter, and first of all let's bring the position somewhere around over here, and continuously instead of that I'll choose explode, and particle count we need to increase as much as we want, like this, and let's choose velocity 200 maybe, or 300. Let's decrease 1 0 out of it. Let's make this velocity 1000, like this. Okay, and now let's go to the particles, increase the size random to 50, and go to the size over life and choose this preset, and also increase the lifespan of this one to 6 seconds, so these particles will last a little bit longer. Okay, and at this point I want this shape layer should be disappeared, so I'll hold alt close bracket to close it, like this. So if we see this animation from the start, I'll get this, then this. Okay, and if you want, then you can increase the particle counts also, like let's say 5 maybe, like this. And now from this point then I want my text animation, so I'll select this text layer and I'll move this over here. Let's enable this text, and now we will try to animate it. So let's go inside this text, select all of them and press P for position, select them, right click and choose separate dimension. Okay, select all of them and we will create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Then we will go somewhere around 1.10 frames. Again create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Go to the start, go to the align tab, align it horizontally, then align it vertically, and we will bring this over here like this. And at this point let's change the Y position somewhere around over here, go few frames forward somewhere around over here, create one keyframe at Y position again, and at this point let's bring this a little bit upward. Okay, now we will focus on only Y position animation. So in search bar I'll type Y only, so it will show me only Y position keyframes. Select all the keyframes and hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, hold shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here, go to the start, select this, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here and this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here, this one over here and this one over here. So if we hit play we will get something like this. Okay, now press S for scaling option, create one keyframe, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, go to the start and let's make this 0. Okay, we will get something like this. Now select those keyframes and hit F9, and you can increase the duration of that also. Now press R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go somewhere around over here and let's make one complete rotation and press R only so we can see only rotation keyframes. Select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here like this. Select all of them and enable motion blur. Okay, and now we want them to come one by one, so go to the start, hit page down button 2 times, select this group, move this over here, move this over here, move this over here and move this over here. We will get this kind of stuff. Now we go to main animation and if you see, we will get this kind of animation. Okay, so after that I'll select this all this layer except this text and this particle layer. Let's select all of them in middle of that and press Ctrl Shift C and I'll call it as 1, let's say, and hit OK and hit Ctrl D, press S, unlink this and let's make this -100, press P and let's bring this downward somewhere around like this. Okay, and press T for opacity and let's make this 40. Okay, and then press Ctrl Y and we will choose red color for the background and I'll bring this layer over here. So if I see this animation, this is going to be my final output. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like this tutorial then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. And if you want to create some more interesting animations like this, then check out these two videos. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay tuned.